Why is January 8 of particular significance to the African National Congress? Who would it be in the best interest of the ANC to recall President Jacob Zuma, who is likely to deliver the State of the Nation address in Parliament next month? What does Cyril Ramaphosa's presidency mean for the Tripartite Alliance? What time is it? It's question time. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, Bonge Kwala, standing in for Port Seru tonight. Today marks the 106th anniversary of the African National Congress. The ANC's top 6 officials visited Ohlange High School in KwaZulu-Natal as part of a series of wreath-laying ceremonies at the grave sites of its former presidents. The ANC's first president, John Langalibalele Dube, Pixsley, Ka-Isaka, Seme, and Chief Albert Luthuli were honored. Tribute was paid to the late Oliver Tambo in the East Rand last week. Yesterday, newly elected ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa and some members of the top 6 visited Zulu King Goodwill Zwelithini at his Osuthu Palace in Nongoma. Meanwhile, the Eastern Cape remains a hive of activity. This as the province celebrates the ANC's birthday, as well as preparing for the main event to be addressed by President Jacob Zuma. In fact, President Cyril Ramaphosa, President of the ANC, on Saturday. We are live, therefore you can call us and air your views. The number is 0891 104 210. If you're outside South Africa, please remember to put +27 89 110 4210 or tweet us your comments. Our Twitter handle is @QuestionTime24. A reminder that you can also live stream us on Facebook page, SABC News Online, and our YouTube channel, of course, YouTube/SABC Digital News. My guest today is Solima Paila, First Deputy General Secretary of the South African Communist Party. Solima Paila, good to have you in studio with us. Hello.
Thank you very much, Perpetua, and thanks for the invitation.
You and I have about half an hour to discuss, but let's go to our reporter Unathi Pingose, who is in East London, of course, East London being the hive of activity. Unathi, what is going on? The preparations are well underway, we understand. What can you tell us?
Indeed, it is a hive of activities, and of course the center of those activities is the East London City Hall. This is where the official celebrations to mark the 106th anniversary of the ANC are set to take place. And I can tell you that they were scheduled to start at around 4 o'clock, but we are told that top leadership, including President Cyril Ramaphosa, were delayed slightly, partly due to the weather as they were flying in to East London from KZN, and we're told that the ceremony can start at any moment from now. And what is encouraging is to see the number of people who have responded to the call to come and mark this special occasion for the ANC. This hall is packed to capacity. This side we're at the moment is the overflow area. This is not even the main event. If you can see behind me, there's a massive screen there. That is where they will get to see what will be happening on the other side, which is the main hall where the cutting of the cake is set to take place. If you can hear in the background, there's a lot of singing, ululation, and of course a lot of applause. And I can tell you that maybe the president of the ANC and the deputy president of the country is not far off from arriving here. And we have seen already the presidential guards. They are already here, an indication that the man is already in town. It's just a matter of time before he comes here. And of course, he's going to feel very, very welcome when he gets here, because like I told you, this venue is packed to capacity, so much that many people are locked outside due to security reasons. They have decided to limit the number of those who are allowed inside here. A clear indication of what you can expect when the national celebrations take place. If you can see right behind me, you came in the nick of time. There he is, the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa. He's in the company of ANC chairperson in the province, Oscar Mabuyan, and of course I can see DD there, the deputy president of the movement. They are walking in past this overflow area and to the main hall where the main celebrations are set to take place. And of course those ululations are those that are welcoming him as they are arriving at this venue. And I can tell you that on Saturday, I can only imagine how things are going to be when the main celebrations, the main rally, the January 8th rally is taking place. And what is another thing that I want to highlight here, what is most encouraging is to see members of the ANC, those who are in opposing camps on the lead up to this conference, they've kept this one, hugging each other, singing along to the same songs, which is a sign of unity that the ANC has always been talking about. I don't know how much time you've got on your side in Perpetua, but allow me to wrap at the moment so we can catch what the president is doing on the other side.
All right, indeed, Unathi Pimngosa, thank you very much. We'll come back to you before the end of the show so that we can get an update there. Let me come back to you, Mr. Mapila, right now. So the scenes there in East London, what do you make of that? And of course, sitting here, don't you wish you were down there yourself?
No, our Deputy Chairperson, Comrade Thulas Nxesi, is there representing us to join the celebrations of 106 years of the ANC, which is a very important milestone because the ANC has reached this many decades, sacrificing its membership in terms of service to the people of South Africa. It's indeed a very worthy celebration, and we are glad that the Eastern Cape has received our leadership with open hands, with unity and with commitment to the renewed focus since the National Conference of the ANC.
Is Blade Nzimande down there, the Secretary General?
No, he was in KwaZulu-Natal. He'll be joining the team during the course of the week. I'll be joining them myself on Wednesday, our team there to participate in the mobilization for the success of the rally on Saturday.
All right, so the ANC celebrate its 106th anniversary birthday, as it were, amid the background of deep divisions in the party. We've seen building up to the 54th National Conference that elected Cyril Ramaphosa as the president and Diti Mabuza as the deputy president. But what do you make of the developments in the ANC, being one of the strongest and one of the uppermost members of the Tripartite Alliance?
Well, it's a very encouraging development since conference. To start with, we think the conference has ushered the ANC into a new era of reconnecting with the people, with the mass base, reconnecting with its value system. And I think you have seen the leadership has visited the former leaders, the former president, the founding president, John Langalibalele Dube, as well as Chief Albert Luthuli, Oliver Tambo, Comrade Zuma. That commitment is not just symbolic as far as we're concerned. It's a rededication to the value system that the ANC over the years had stood for, and those presidents have epitomized those values, and therefore that commitment from the leadership is assuring, and we hope that going forward in implementing the decisions of the conference, the NEC, as well as the statement that will be delivered, will encapsulate the summary of those discussions. As we know that largely the ANC January 8 statement, it's an aggregate summary of what the ANC seeks to do in that particular year. It's a focus area where all ANC cadres and deployees all over the world, they just look into that particular statement. They know what is the direction that they need to follow. They develop implementation strategy of the programs of the ANC based on that particular statement. It doesn't represent anything, the totality of every resolution, but at least it summarizes what should be the focus for that particular year. And we're looking forward to a very strong focus coming out of this conference to show the real shift from the wrong things that have been happening in recent times, and the commitment that has been given by conference, as well as the President's closing address of conference.
Let's go to Lachasa, who is in Zabediela. Lachasa, good to be chatting to you. Hello, welcome. All right, how are you, sir?
I'm good, sir.
Go right ahead.
Yes. I just want to ask Selina, maybe you do believe that the NEC will recall Mr. Zuma on the 10th. And what are the consequences according to him? Can ANC be united after recalling Jacob Zuma? So the ANC can be divided after recalling Jacob Zuma?
All right, the line is not too great there, Soli, but I'm sure you'll make up. I think the question really is what some people have characterized as the elephant in the room, the big elephant in the room, and I think that's what Lachasa is asking. Your views on the presence of President Jacob Zuma right now. there are obviously maneuverings suggesting that he might be gone anytime soon. As the SACP, as the alliance partner, what are your views about his presence right now, and what do you want to see happen?
As far as we are concerned, we are post the Zuma era. He's no longer president of the ANC, and I think his leadership in the ANC has come to an end. The Constitutional Court has just given a ruling for an impeachment process, and we think that it's another curveball for the ANC. It should be so easy to do. It should not require rocket science to try and respond to this particular matter.
To recall him?
Of course. I think that's an issue that we can restate again, that he needs to be recalled. But we want to leave it to the new NEC of the ANC to come to its collective decisions based on conference resolutions, as well as now the Constitutional Court order for his impeachment.
With just very few months left now before the end of his term, why not let him, or allow for the process that he finishes his term? Because are we not setting a precedent that will see every president of the ANC not finishing their term?
No, it's a matter that the ANC must finally deal with, but this president has committed many grave errors that caused the movement and its relationship with the people of South Africa. But we must remember that an impeachment process will actually strip him of any privileges that he will have as president. So it's actually now in his best interest, but it didn't have to reach this level. The ANC should have actually saved him and saved itself long time ago. So now, in terms of the Constitutional Court ruling, it's almost 6 months maximum that he can stay in office, and thereafter he will leave with nothing. I don't think he himself will like that.
All right, this is, of course, question time here on SABC. We'll be going to George after the break. George is in Lichtenberg. We're in discussion with Solima Paila from the SACP.
This is your midday report. Good afternoon.
I will be faithful.
I assume as President of the Republic of Kenya.
Let's take a look at how African markets and currencies are performing now.
The central bankers say the success of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies is just a bubble.
Breaking stories, detailed economy and sport. Tune into Midday Report every Monday to Friday from 12 p.m.
Welcome back. You're still watching Question Time. My guest today is Solima Paila, first Deputy General Secretary of the SACP. Earlier on today, of course, the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, was in KwaZulu-Natal. Let's take a look at what transpired there.
And unity is not a choice, it is a must. So, comrades, we will be coming back as the national leadership to work with our comrades here to find unity. We are going to make sure Uguti KZN is united. And as I was saying, whether you like it or you don't like it, you will be united. Nyabong.
Unity is what is coming out, and unity is was the buzzword going to the conference. But also KwaZulu-Natal. Is KwaZulu-Natal the factor now post the national conference?
All our provinces are a factor in terms of unity. You remember that there were too many divisions across the board, and I think that that commitment, particularly given the strategic role and the size of KwaZulu-Natal as a province of the ANC, requires that immediate attention, as all others, of course, but perhaps starting there, it's an important factor. And I think the leadership was wise enough to visit the province and to visit the gravesite of the former presidents, there are 3 of them. So, which also indicates the contribution that that province has made over the years to the life of the ANC, and to reconnect with that was extremely important. And the call for unity is always welcome, but it's unity of principles, unity against corruption, unity against corporate capture of the state, not unity of factions for the sake of unity, but unity to fight the wrongs and to recommit to the value system of the ANC and to serve the people. That's the unity that is much more welcome, and as a SACP, we fully support that.
And that unity, that will include the SACP as well?
Yeah, so unity of the alliance as a liberation force, it's very critical in that case. So we'll work with the ANC leadership, newly elected, to make sure that we unite our movement, we unite our people, we refocus our revolution so that it can achieve its objectives based on the challenges that we still face as a society.
Because Blade Nzimande, the leader of the SACP, said the alliance is outdated. It needs to be reconfigured. What does he mean by that? And what kind of reconfiguration is he anticipating in his head, and of course as the SACP leadership?
No, he was actually saying that the alliance remains relevant. However, the modus operandi, the manner in which it's configured to operate, is outdated, given that it was established during the period where we were underground, we were banned, our leaders were in prison. Now, post-1994 or 1990, after we were unbanned, we just admitted Sanko into the fold of the alliance, but we never changed the manner in which it operates. That's what he was talking about. This matter is on the agenda of the Alliance Political Council. Hopefully soon we'll be able to meet with the newly elected leadership of the ANC and continue the discussion we have started with the previous leadership about how to reconfigure the alliance to make it more effective and to be adaptable to the current conditions, rather than have a situation where, for instance, because firstly is to appreciate that the alliance is made of independent formations. When we go to the meeting, we are all equals, but we have admitted that the ANC, given its broadness as a multi-class organization, can represent various sections of all bodies of the alliance. Hence, it is given this strategic leadership of the alliance, and therefore that leadership, it must exercise it with integrity, with commitment to serve the people, with commitment to make sure that the people of South Africa comes first, not with self-serving interest. And if the ANC falters in implementing or in leading the alliance, that's why the alliance members can't keep quiet, and therefore it's important that we reconfigure how it operates.
Yeah, ponder on this one, because I want to ask if the ANC SACP is still a relevant player and partner in this alliance. You would know that during the President Thabo Mbeki era, right towards the end, in the leadership's view, you became irrelevant to a certain degree. You cried foul. Again, towards the end of the reign of President Jacob Zuma, you are becoming irrelevant in his eyes and perhaps those who are around him. Do you think that you are still relevant, a relevant partner? Ponder on that one. Let's go to Lavi on the line. Hello, Lavi. Okay, that line has dropped. Let's come back and discuss that then. Why is it that towards the end of these two presidents, you see this, this breakdown in relationship between the ANC or them and the SACP?
Well, the SACP is not much only relevant for the alliance. It's relevant for the struggles of our people, which are largely caused by the domination of the capitalist system in South Africa, which is the system that exploits workers, that exploits all South Africans, that creates inequalities in our society, that continues as well to give privileges in terms of color between white and blacks. And therefore, from that perspective, the SACP's role remains much more relevant. You can actually look into the campaigns that we've undertaken, which, for instance, the Broad Movement have later on embraced. The campaign for public health, for public education, the campaign for transformation of the financial sector, which is actually a campaign to fight the hardcore or the epicenter of monopoly capital in South Africa, which is largely financialized. So to that extent, the SACP remains an extremely relevant political force in this country, and the alliance needs us as much as we need the alliance to fulfill our mission.
Talk to us about Matsimahulu. Was it a stunt? Was it a sign to say, hey, we can go it alone? Are you satisfied with the outcome there? Or can you really reach a point where you say 2019, here we come, or 2022?
Matsimahulu was important for us, and we want to appreciate our comrades in the community there for asking the Communist Party to stand to rescue the South African Revolution, and the ANC has appreciated that particular intervention. As we now know, we have a mayor who comes from the SACP. We'll be working with them to make sure that it's not just an ordinary municipality, despite that we're a minority in terms of numbers in that particular coalition. We work with the ANC and other parties that have got about 1 or 2 seats, and therefore it's very, very critical. It was not a mere stunt. It was also a process to reconfigure the alliance. And I think that if you look into how the negotiations went about post the outcomes of the elections, the ANC could not undermine those comrades in the province. So no other leader of the ANC would even undermine the Communist Party with the Matsimahulu experience, because one thing that it showed us is that if we take each other for granted, we may both lose political power. And by losing political power, it will take too long to reconnect with the program that we have started to transform the lives of the people of South Africa through the South African Revolution headed by the Alliance through the ANC.
With the ANC towards 2019.
Yes, at the moment that's the decision of the Congress of the Communist Party. We'll work together with the ANC, but we've also outlined a process of consultation with a wide range of political and social forces, as we did in Matsimahulu. You know that about 7 of the candidates who stood for our ward councillors were not members of the Communist Party. We were from different community organizations. We're committed to build a popular left front to consolidate the gains of our revolution, but at the same time, we have indicated that the reconfiguration of the alliance is a precondition of how we will work with the African National Congress or within the framework of the alliance, but we are committed to still work within the framework of the alliance.
So Lumapane, thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you very much, Mpepet.
Highly appreciated. That's where we're going to have to leave it, but we go to East London now, to the Eastern Cape, where the ANC's 106 celebrations are underway, and the President of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, will be taking to the podium shortly. Unathi Pinqose is our reporter there. Good night.
Was scandalously divided. Paul, when he arrives there, he found many things that were happening there actually. When there was going to be a sacrament, there were congregants who sit at the back who could not come to the sacrament because they said we belong to Paul. And when the time is for Apollos, those who belong to Paul will sit at the back and don't come and receive the sacrament. Waibona uPaulos left. But I mean, and I also is because this is not supposed to be happening inside the church. And when he addresses this, he goes straight to the word of Jesus Christ when he arrived in this earth. When he saw the President his mission, he saw the only report to win and to accomplish his mission was to unite the society. And as it did that, Nesuru ngokwalo la